My name's Tarun Shetty. Welcome to another edition of the Convo Sutra. Coming to you from Hollywood, we've got a fantastic show coming up for you with some familiar faces, and we have a new guest panelist, comedian right here in Los Angeles. How about we just do a quick intro for our audio listeners?
Hi guys, I'm Ayushi Chhabra. Excited to be back again on the Convo Sutra.
Hey, I'm Milan Patel. I'm a stand-up comedian here in LA. Excited to be here.
Hi, my name is Naomi, Parmar, and I have an interior design company in Los Angeles.
How you guys feeling this week? Welcome back, Ayushi.
Thank you.
How's your lighting? Is it good?
My lighting is so much better, and thanks for bringing me on again.
Of course.
I didn't think I'd come back on.
You're great. What are you talking about?
What? You think I'm a diva? That's why.
I do not think you're a diva.
Guys, do you think I'm a diva?
Has the lighting been an
I think-
issue in the past?
I think that everyone in the entertainment industry is like kind of on a narcissistic spectrum.
Me too.
Yeah, you though definitely. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm so happy he's right next to me
She was
because I
like,
can
"I wanna
easily
sit
be like,
next to
I'm
him."
just kidding.
And I said, maybe you guys should
No.
put her over there. She's like, no, I want to sit right here.
I want to be right next to you in life.
Right. Milan, how are you feeling? I know you're new to this podcast. Do you do a lot of these things as a comedian?
Yeah, I have my own podcast. So,
That's right, you do.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't see it.
It's called Perfect Politics. We talk about the news and like current events every week, and it's a comedy podcast. So I feel comfortable with the microphone in front of me, but I also feel comfortable. You guys are very nice, so
Oh,
So
feel-
far.
so far from what I've experienced so far, it's been good. I'm actually kind of a diva, so I feel like it might be a little bit. You might have to deal with me a little bit.
I mean, do you think being a diva is part of entertainment, or do you think it's being an Indian?
It could be both. Yeah, it could be a little bit of both.
Naomi, what do you think about
Well,
being a diva?
I'm not in entertainment, but I'm still in a creative field. And I feel like if you aren't a diva, no one's going to listen to you. So if you're creating anything, or for example, I do design, right? So if I'm not really like confident about, hey, this looks good, listen to me, be quiet, then I'm not doing my job.
yeah. I think sometimes it's also misconstrued. Like just having an opinion doesn't make you a diva.
Yeah.
So I think that, I've traditionally been a people pleaser. So I'm like, no, everything's okay. Yeah, I'm just happy to be alive. But
Just happy to be alive.
guys, by the way, my best friend's here. So yay.
Oh yeah, Arthur Mirza's off camera. You can't
Yeah.
see him.
So I'm just really happy today. So.
He directed Desi OC and Bobby Khan's Ticket to Hollywood, but he won't be on camera. But just know that he has perfected this lighting and camera angles for us
Yes.
tonight. We're appreciative of Atif Mirza. Thank you.
Yes.
No, but I do think, to your point, there's a big difference between being a diva and being selfish. And I was just telling someone, you've got to be kind of selfish to be in this business because it takes so much out of you. And I think even though you're not in entertainment, you live in Los Angeles, and I think you understand what we're talking about, Naomi. Milan, what do you think? Is there a selfishness to you doing comedy?
Yeah, maybe not selfishness, but I agree with you guys. You have to make decisions and choices. Sometimes it's helpful. Like feel like with interior design, you're always making choices. Probably that's like the job, isn't it? Or to
Yeah,
help make
because like
choices?
so many things are objective, subjective. So
Yeah.
if you don't put like a final full stop to the decision-making process, that's not going to happen if you're not confident and comfortable with your decisions, so that someone else who hires you feels like, oh, okay, I can relax. And I think in anything creative, like there's so many options out there that you have to be like, oh no, I feel confident about this.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Like it would be the worst if you went up to a client and you're just like, well, what do you want? And they're like, well, isn't that why you're helping?
That's the
why I
nightmare.
hired you. Yeah.
That's the nightmare. You have to put limitations on it because
Yeah.
then it's just, they're not even going to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like if there's a situation, like if you're if you're on set, if you're acting, and you have a director or a crew that like is very decisive and they know exactly what they want, then your job is to listen and to be like, okay, how can I fit into what you guys are already doing? Because maybe they've made some choices already.
Yeah.
I can't make life choices. I've realized that. Like, it takes even this outfit. I've brought like 3 different shirts. I'm like,
Yeah.
what do I wear?
That are the same color.
I know.
You walked in with like 4 shades of blue. Yeah.
I tell people before.
What do you mean?
what
That's
color are you
blue. He
wearing?
was wearing black before.
Oh no, it's like 4 shades of blue.
Yeah.
But like the same
As somebody
color.
who knows black, that's not black.
But it's like 4 shades of the same kind of blue.
So the behind the scenes, I always ask, what color are you gonna wear? So not.
Oh my god, he asks
Like-
like a week before, as if I have nothing better to do than think about like what I'm gonna be wearing on your podcast.
Because one time someone we all like wore black. It was like a funeral here.
It was a funeral. The
Oh,
first
yeah.
episode was a funeral.
and
I-
because there was no color, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I've never been asked to do a podcast where the person was like, "Hey, can you like tell me what you're gonna wear?" But I knew immediately after you asked it there had been a mistake. In the
It's a
past.
metrosexual podcast,
Yeah.
so I make sure.
But and then like we were in the group chat and some people were like, I think I'm gonna decide the day of.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
said that.
Yeah, you said you were gonna decide the day of, and then somebody was like, I'm gonna wear black, and I was like, well, I will not wear black. And that's as much
Naomi
as I
always
can.
wears black. That's
Yeah.
like her thing. It's
Yeah.
like,
I waited for everybody to pick their color, and then I was like, okay, I'm going yellow. That's the only thing that's not taken right now.
You got the Joe Rogan influence.
Yeah,
from
does
his
he wear
Netflix-
yellow?
He wears like a yellow shirt
Oh,
for
okay, gotcha.
comedians
Yeah,
out there.
my hero. Yeah.
But do you think that like the colors we choose sort of represent our personality?
I mean, that means she's depressed.
No, I don't think black is always depressed. It could also mean like confident,
Confident,
and
accurate.
like.
Okay,
Or she's
black
overweight.
is a very happy color.
Okay.
I think I
explain
read something
yourself.
about that on Instagram actually.
Yeah, there's a whole meme thing about how it's
Yeah,
like a
tell us.
happy color, you know. I don't like pink.
I
I'm not a
love
pink
pink.
person. My mom would love it if I wore pink all the time. Yeah, I mean, I have color in my wardrobe, guys. It's not all black.
Well, why black? What about black that you like?
I think that when you wear some more basic colors, more monochromatic colors, you don't have to spend frivolously. You can kind of have basics that look good, are put together.
Yeah.
So you can transition between hanging out with friends, going out, and doing like professional meetings. For me, I just like,
Yeah.
when I buy an article of clothing, I have to throw away something because it's just too much to manage. So for me, black and kind of matching, it just makes
Yeah.
sense to me.
And for guys, it makes a big difference here in Los Angeles, just how you go out. And you guys put thought into every outfit. It's like an LA podcast. Jesus Christ. This guy's like,
It is
this
an
guy's
LA,
like,
no?
been talking about politics, and he's like, where am I? We're talking about
LA.
what's your favorite color?
I like this conversation.
The best dating question. What's your favorite color?
I'm trying not to. Yeah, I'm trying not to get into dating.
By the
but
way, my favorite color is not black.
What
What's
is
your favorite
it?
color?
Yeah.
Red.
Okay.
why don't you just wear red on the podcast then?
I'm saving it for my wedding, okay? I'm like a good Hindu girl.
Your wedding?
You're
Yeah.
never gonna wear red until you get married.
I think it would feel more special. I mean, if I saved it more, I
Okay.
do kind of think that in like a sentimental way.
In Dubrovnik. It's a callback from episode 2.
No, it was Montenegro.
Oh, I thought it was Dubrovnik. Oh, 30 minutes from Dubrovnik. Sorry. She wants to get married in Europe or something.
I've been to Dubrovnik. It's beautiful.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not so crazy.
I was like by the ocean. There's a lightning storm, like a thunderstorm, and it was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
So I mentioned, they have like crazy electrical storms.
Possible match here.
I mentioned
This is a-
Dubrovnik, and all three of them laughed at my face for saying the word Dubrovnik. So here you go.
Why were you there?
I was like doing a study abroad during college, and then it was like nearby where I already was, so I stayed there for like 2 days or something, in a hostel or something. Yeah.
Wait, how do you say this word?
Dubrovnik,
Dubrovnik.
Czech Republic,
That was the reaction that we had. That was the reaction we had.
Croatia. Sorry,
Dubrovnik.
Croatia. I don't even know where I was.
Dubrovnik.
Yeah, this is the slow side of the room. You guys are like the educated, like
No, I just said the
travelers.
wrong country that I was even in. So you
Oh.
guys are doing fine.
It's okay, we'll edit that out.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Tarun doesn't like editing anything out, and I'm the one who's the diva.
No, you're not. You're totally fine, by the way. Ayushi, you're great, by the way, on this podcast.
So are you.
I know I am. That's why I do this podcast.
He's laughing at you off camera.
Got him thrown off already.
He's pink.
How's comedy,
Pink like
dude?
my short.
Do you travel a lot as a comedian?
This year I've been traveling a bit. I was just in San Francisco for the Desi Comedy Festival. A couple of my friends run that, and I did a few shows over there, and that was really fun. And then also I went back to the Northwest where I'm from, Seattle and Portland. And then like later this year I'm gonna go to Montana. So I'm doing more
Wow.
traveling this year than I have ever in the past, but it's been cool. It's nice to like go to different places and like just see different places and visit just as a tourist too. But
Yeah, sure.
Do you think comedians are depressed? Like a lot of comedians are actually sad.
Yeah,
Like,
I've met a lot.
They go home and they're like, it's like almost a facade.
Yeah, well, it's not even like a facade. Like if you talk to them for 2 seconds after their set, like, or even like during their set, they'll talk about being depressed or whatever. So it's like, I don't even think it's like a facade of them pretending to not be depressed. I think now it's almost like a branding. Like people brand themselves as mentally ill to do comedy. You know what I mean? And and a lot of them maybe are doing fine. So
Do you agree?
Well, it's so funny you asked that because Ritu was here last week and she asked this girl named Zara Ali, who was here,
Yeah.
a guest, and
And I know
same
Zara.
exact question. She goes, "Do you think comedians are depressed?"
Oh my God, Ritu and I think the same.
But it's the exact same answer, pretty much. There is definitely an inner turmoil, which
Yeah.
gets brought out on stage for some reason. But I think everybody's got a layer of malaise deep down.
I don't
right?
know many people who don't have like 5% depression. It's
Yeah,
just
of
almost like a
course.
part about like contemplating life at this point.
yeah.
Yeah,
If
and
you
I think
think
like
about
humor
stuff.
helps like deal
Yeah.
with a lot of tough situations in life.
Yeah. Like I think probably the same percentage of people who are comedians and aren't, same percentage are depressed or have mental illness. Or it's like the same thing as people ask like, oh, do comedians like drink a lot or party a lot? And it's like, I've worked in industries outside of comedy and I've met people who work in like marketing, for example, and it's like they drink way
Yeah.
more than
Yeah,
comedians
yeah.
do.
So many like lawyers hate their lives.
Lawyers drink a
It's
lot
like-
too. Yeah, there's people everywhere. It's like I think there's just certain brandings for certain professions or like career paths where it's like these people are like this, but it's probably more of just like a branding than a reality, you know?
Ayushi, do you want to speak about the acting? Because I feel like the acting thing is there's no control. And at least we can
Yeah.
like do comedy.
I think people who are very supported here, who are actors, like who have families here, who have like a very strong support system, they do far better, I think, like when it comes to acting and dealing with rejection. I think it's almost harder for someone who's either come from like another country or like has no one here or like struggles to make friends. I get emotional even just like talking about it because I'm so glad I have, you know, like my best friends that have become my family here. But like the amount of rejection that I have faced in acting is like,
Yeah.
I don't even have words for it. So
As you go through life, you kind of go through these things, and it just adds these, I guess, armor onto you, right? You go through tragedy, parents die,
Yeah.
career, finance. Like, there's no way you can evade all these things that are coming at you, like this fusillade of missiles all the
yeah,
time.
and I think a lot of it is like you can work as hard as you possibly can, and it still isn't in your control. So like a lot of things aren't in your control, and then you're like, you know, all you can do is like laugh about it. If it's not your time, it's not your time. I think you asked me this a few like episodes ago, and you were like, "Why didn't you make it, Ayushi?" And I'm like, "Great question."
First of all, hold on.
I've thought about this a lot.
Let me apologize for that. The fact that you're here doing it, you've made it. So many people haven't even, or they're so afraid of moving to Los
Yeah.
Angeles. So you're here doing it.
Thank
you
you.
work. You're successful. So I take my
No,
words
but
were
I mean,
wrong.
I also have other things going on in my life that I'm so grateful for, right? Like I'm studying, I had a job for like 8 years while I was doing acting and all of that. So, and like I have a life, so I'm happy about that. But I'm just trying to say that there's so many things that are not in our control. So,
Sure.
what are you gonna do?
I mean, Naomi, do you think because of what she just said, like that's why our parents, Milan too, not your parents, but Indians in general, they want
Yeah.
more like a meritocracy jobs, like lawyer, doctor, there's more stability. Do you think that's
Yeah.
why they're so afraid of what's on the other side?
Yeah, definitely. I think stability is probably like the key issue there. But just to your point, it's like, well, that's why people are unhappy when they do creative stuff because they're unstable. Like,
Yeah.
you might move here with very little money or like no money and or no job prospects or no friends or family. That's instability. So when your parents are like, don't choose this unstable career path, that's what they're trying to warn against. And that's why people do become unhappy. It's because they're like, well, I don't have friends or a job, and I don't really have a solid place to live right now here
Yeah.
in LA.
Yeah.
But if I could just become an actor, I would be happy. And it's like you put all your eggs in one basket, where you're like,
100%,
this
yeah.
would this one thing is the only thing that could make me happy. He's like, why don't you work around the other stuff first and see if that helps?
Yeah.
You know?
And then you do it and you're like, I'm on set for like 12 hours in a trailer. Like,
Yeah.
why is this?
Why
I
don't-
think it's
yeah.
so
Why am I still
important.
sad?
You're right. Like you need to have a foundation. Like other things need to be sort of like settled in your life
Yeah.
for you to be able to have those creative wings.
One thing I will say about Tarun is a while ago, I think one of the reasons I kind of know you better or started to get to know you better was Tarun had a web series.
Yeah.
And it must be because like I remember doing like commercial auditions at that time. There weren't a lot of roles for people. I did this like when I was like a teenager, and what is good about Tarun is he got people together and he did something, even though there weren't that many roles at that time. And he got people together who are creative and he put something out. And that was like, I think you do hear about people sometimes making their own opportunities, sometimes become writers.
Yeah.
But that was like a really fun thing that you did.
Thank you. Well, that was also Atif Mirza who did that, who's sitting off camera
Yeah.
awkwardly, but I couldn't have done it without him, and he did a great job.
Why do you get embarrassed? We love you.
Do you want to jump in and just show your face?
Please.
Okay.
Maybe you can like superimpose his picture on
Yeah,
there.
please, would you please do that?
Speaking to that point, I think South Asians, we kind of have to come together, especially because we are outnumbered. Even though there's this whole diversity push, I think it's kind of bullshit. We're still not like leads. I mean, they are, but it's not as pervasive as they think it is. So we kind of have to collaborate. You got to make your own opportunities. Comedy's more solo, but you mentioned the Desi Fest. I know those guys, Abe, and
We all help each other out. Like one key moment for me when I was still living in Portland, is he's a friend of mine now. His name is Raj Desai. He's great. He's written
talented
for Sarah Silverman. He's written on the Tonight Show. But he was doing stand up at a comedy festival in Portland, and he just emailed me. He's like, oh, I saw another Gujarati person is on the festival, and he made an effort for us to just get coffee and hang out and just say, and he's like, if you ever move to LA, just say what's up and we'll get coffee. And I did move here and I did reach out and we ended up talking and now we're friends. And that's just one example, but other examples are when I moved here, once I met other brown comedians, they would invite me to the brown comedian group chats, and I'm still in those group chats when they'll be like, oh, do you guys want to hang out this weekend? Not even do creative stuff, do you guys just want to meet up and say what's up at this bar or whatever. And I do the same thing. When I meet other people, I always say hello and I always try to bring them into the fold. And
there's got to be a limit though. Like with Raj Desai, one time somebody reached out to me for a writing job and they're like, hey, do you know any other diverse Indians you can recommend? And I was up for the job and I was like, oh, Raj Desai is really talented. So I called up Raj. I was like, hey man, I got this job, submit. And I was up for the job too. They hired Raj and didn't hire me. They're like, dude, we love him. And I was like, what about me? And I told my dad that. He's like, what are you, nuts? I love Raj too. I wouldn't have recommended him.
And I don't think he would have been upset if you would have recommended yourself.
I know, but he's so talented. I was like, oh, he's really great for the job. He's probably better than me too for the job.
Does that mean he has to recommend you for something like you would expect?
No, I don't expect anybody to help me, honestly. I just have this mindset. I've got to do it myself. It's kind of a masochist attitude.
Yeah.
It'd be nice karmically, though.
Have you helped people?
I help people improve their environment all the time. No, I mean, it is a goal of mine. I think that if I get more seasoned and after a while, I would love to, take someone as a mentor and train them. And in my field, you kind of work for a company. I didn't do it this way, but it would have been easier if I had a mentor. So with that in mind, I'm going to do it eventually. It's usually down the line that you do that. You have to establish yourself and your company first before you can be like, hey, this is the way you should do it. Because I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you don't want a mentor that's anxious and frazzled all the time, and you're like, have you figured your shit out?
Yeah. You need a sense of calm after years and years of experience, so you can really give advice.
You don't want a life coach who's homeless. You want a life coach who's got their stuff figured out.
I don't want to be blamed for ruining someone's career right now.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to give bad advice.
Ayushi, who's your mentor?
Oh, wow. That's a great question.
Do you have one?
I mean, I think that most of my friends who are, just out, I think each one of you would be my mentor, right?
Yeah.
I don't have one specific person. I just think that there are so many people that inspire me. And I take bits and pieces from each of those, right? I have different types of friends and they're pursuing different careers and I think I just take different things from different people. I will say that my consistent mentor will be my dad and my mom, of course, how much they've traveled, how they've been immigrants, how they've, created a life for me and my brother. We're able to do so many things, travel to another country and pursue some crazy career because they created this stable life for us. So, yeah. they'd be my consistent mentors.
That's a great answer. I think about that a lot too. I'm like, because I see some people who just fly through this business, but they've got these unbelievable like mentors who are just so connected.
Yeah.
But you can find great qualities from your parents or people close by to you.
Yeah.
You know?
You can pull different qualities from different people, I think. And I think every day you meet people also, right? Like even just at a coffee shop, you'll meet someone and they'll do something and you're like, wow, that was so inspiring. Like just the way that person
The
spoke.
way she poured the coffee.
Yeah, the way the way she like dragged my bill was so inspiring.
The way she served me.
No, but actually, guys, no, just before I came here, I went to a coffee shop and literally the lady was so sweet. She was like, how much milk do you want? Like, just so like attentive. And I was like, that's so nice.
I had a similar thing yesterday. I had to call the DMV, and
Yeah.
I was really dreading it. You never want to go to the DMV or even talk to them on the phone. And the lady that talked to me was so nice. Like, she was
Right?
so helpful. And I was just surprised. I was like, man, you probably deal with like the worst customers
Exactly.
every day, but you're being nice to me. So I guess I could try to be nice the next time I'm helping someone else out.
Yeah.
You know?
This is such an LA podcast that we are so shocked when people are nice.
I know we are shocked, but
I am
also like
shocked,
we
yeah.
live
Yeah,
in our...
we are shocked about it. Who would your mentor be? If you guys could pick a mentor out of like everyone, like who would it be?
I would say I have a girlfriend. Her name is Tasneem, and she would be my mentor.
Shout out Tasneem Rahim.
Yeah. I just see like how she's worked so hard at her career. She manages her own personal life so well, and she maintains really good friendships, and she's just like a pure soul, so she'd be my mentor.
Yeah. You answer your question. You asked
Me?
it. Yeah.
Um,
Do you guys know Kelly Wersler?
She an anime character?
No. You know what? There's no anime about interior designers. That would be amazing. But
Are
yeah,
you-
she's a great interior designer.
Okay,
She does.
okay.
She did the Proper Hotel in Santa Monica.
Milan, you have a mentor?
No, I don't have I've never really had a mentor in my life, so it's a tough question for me to like answer. I feel like I've always had to figure stuff out on my own, so
Same.
It would be a hard transition, and I don't even think that's the best way or the most efficient way to figure out life. But that's just how I've been doing it. So it would be a weird transition into, giving up that control to somebody else and being like, "Hey, can you help me?" Like I'm just not used to that. But let me think more, and if I can think of a better answer, I'll answer.
I went to NYU and they paired me up with this Indian kid who was like, I guess he wanted to do stand-up and filmmaking. And I felt like I was the worst. Like, I'm just not the best person. So, but then I also think, why am I obligated to help people? Because people always reach out to me. I sound like an asshole here. So enervating to just keep giving. So now I'm very selective about getting coffees with people, giving advice. I'm always like, just...
It's funny you say that because you're actually creating a platform for us to come together, and you're giving to us, like an opportunity to speak, to like get to know each other.
Yeah, but I'm not like one-on-one with you. Like, I got to help
Yeah,
Ayushi.
you never get coffee with me.
You've never asked me for coffee. I went on a date with you. I bought you like drinks and dinner or something.
Drinks and dinner is too much, okay? Please.
He's like, I'm mentoring you.
I was mentoring you.
I'm helping you.
I was grooming
I was so hungry on that date, and you weren't like, yeah, that's another feedback for you.
Where'd
I
you
was
guys
really
eat?
hungry.
Where'd you guys
No,
eat
we just
at?
went to this bar
Chipotle?
called... No.
She got the guac and extra steak. I had to pay $3. I was
I
like,
don't
really?
eat steak. I'm vegetarian.
You go up to the
Thank you very
cashier, like,
much.
cancel the guac. She doesn't.
No. We went to Pearl, like this bar called Pearl. That was
Can't you-
right by
can't
his
you
house.
remember
So
that?
I have
I
to
don't
drive.
even-
I have to drive all the way from the valley to come to like West Hollywood, so we can go to a place next to him.
Well, I was hoping you get drunk, and I was like, my place is right here.
Oh my god.
Tarun, my parents watch this.
I don't care. Milan, it's not a dating show, Milan, but for some reason, it always
Whenever
goes
we don't want
into
to
it.
answer questions, we should just say my parents watch.
I literally just said, I'm like, my parents watch this. Tarun, thoda.
My parents don't know about this, so
Oh my God, by the way,
I'm gonna keep it secret.
not to change subjects, but Ritu last week, her parents brought like laddus for us.
That's
Aw.
so sweet.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was
Why?
really nice. I guess it was,
Ganesh Chaturthi.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's okay. I'll balance you out.
So parents are great. I'm glad they support, and my mom's dead.
Why are you saying it like that?
I'm just saying it's awful.
I feel like that would we really need to like.
I think
go
that was
to
like a
therapy.
comedic release in like a dark way,
I
but
know, but it was so dark, and it was just like so like.
No,
out of
it's awful.
nowhere.
It haunts me every day, and it's
I need to take you to the temple with me.
I don't go to the temple anymore.
I'm gonna like hold your
I've
hand. and take
lost
it.
religion. Religion is no longer in my life because
Why?
it's let me down tremendously.
You want to talk about it?
Not here.
But you know, you don't need it. I mean,
No, but like
There you go.
you don't need it.
It's not just about religion, but it's like, do you do any like, do you believe in spirituality or like mindfulness?
I meditate twice a day. I believe there's a higher power, but I don't believe that if you act according and just, your life's going to be copacetic. So I feel like there's a lot of random chaosness. I'm sorry if I'm alienating people who are watching this, but that's my
okay, it's
personal
okay.
experience. So I feel like we're kind of on our own here, and there is a higher power, but to that extent, we still have to figure stuff out on our own. Like this roof might collapse on us halfway through this podcast.
I think like the largest growing demographic when it comes to
Sorry. It's like two opposites sitting next to each other.
well, do you think it's weird if someone doesn't believe in it?
No, in religion?
Yeah.
No. No, I feel like you should believe in a higher power and like have some sort of like spiritual practice, you know, just to stay like grounded and like help you feel aligned. But no, I don't think that it's like necessary.
Yeah.
I'm very religious, but I don't think it's necessary. Huh? So,
How are you religious? I know you write Hindi poems.
but my poetry is not about religion. Yeah, like oh my God, someone educate him.
Non-religious Indian poetry.
Yeah, no, I think, okay, listen. I went through a really rough time, like with my visa being denied and all of that. So when I was home, I was like spending a lot of time with my family, with my dog. And it was at that time, like 2 years ago, that I became vegetarian, that like I started like, you know, being really religious and like believing in like our gods and like, and some of these kathas did actually have like meanings to me that, you know, that I could derive meaning from and inspiration from. So that's why I believe in religion, because it's helped me get through like some really dark times in my life. And I feel like sometimes like faith really helps you, like propels you out of like your dark circumstances. So that's the reason I believe in it, and I continue to. But yeah,
I agree
that's my
with you.
answer.
We went from colors to religion.
Yeah, we went
We got to
from
talk about the election next.
Yeah.
Well, wait.
Trifecta of what not to talk about.
Tarun was like, don't get into this. Don't
No.
get
He sent
into
a group
politics.
chat, like text message.
You know, at this point, you can talk about whatever. Who cares
Yeah.
at this point?
Yeah, you've really changed the like room.
I will get Milan's perspective as a new person here. Do you have like a guiding force in your life?
I mean, I'm Hindu, like I'm religious. Again, more same as you, a little bit more recently. My mom is very religious, and it's helped her out a lot. And it's important to her that she can teach me as much as she can. So when I was younger, I hated it, and I would get mad at her when she would make me do that stuff. But now, as I'm getting older, I just try to listen to her and learn as much as I can. She meditates a lot every day. She's very has become much more knowledgeable about things like that, and also better about like explaining the reasons why we do certain rituals. It's not just like, oh, just, you know, say this mantra or like whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
She's gotten better about learning the meanings and then trying to teach that to me. So I think, you know, I became vegetarian a couple of years ago too, mostly for her, because I think it was an easy thing for me to do, and it means a lot to her. So yeah, I would say I kind of mostly just agree with what you said. I don't really have anything to add
No, it's
beyond
good.
that. But that's kind of my perspective. It's because my mom it's helped her a lot in her life. So
Nice to be like you. Just wait.
and then something. Then yeah, and when she dies, I'm just gonna be like, fuck this shit. I made no burger.
Just wait, my friend. It's coming. There's a train coming for. I don't make it too dark. How about you, Naomi?
My grandmother is so religious, and she prays so many times a day. And her husband, my grandfather, was completely non-religious, and they had like the best marriage. And what was cool about it is that system, because they were like the matriarch and the patriarch of the family, they taught us it doesn't matter if you and your spouse or you and your siblings don't believe the same thing or at the same level. And that's something like I incorporated. I don't believe or disbelieve like theism, but it's kind of like, because of my grandparents' example, it's kind of like they don't care they just care if I'm like a good person. So
Yeah.
the karma thing is there. And even though I have really religious people in the family, they don't care about the others not being religious. And I thought that was like a really good dynamic.
You brought up a good point. I do believe in karma. In fact, I had an Amazon package stolen, and I was so pissed. Like, I put up a note in the hallway, and I said, I hope my package was worth your karma.
You actually did that?
did.
Oh my God.
I couldn't help it. I had to like write something. So I'm sure they're like, what a loser this guy is. He's like,
You're
thank you.
so cute, Tarun.
I know
You
I
do
am.
these like cute things.
But I do believe there's some karmic force, you know, which is why we're not out looting stores all the time. I think there's some righteousness in
Yeah.
life.
I mean, if you spew like hatred all the time, you're mean to people, somebody's going to have like a vendetta against you. I mean, even at like the most basic level.
Oh my
I mean,
God,
I know that's
yeah.
not what karma is, but like if you're just like a really negative person, your
Yeah.
life's
But-
not going to be as good as someone who's just like so happy to be around.
But question for the group. I feel like South Asians, that's where we kind of lack it because, I mean, white people or gories, whatever, like it's almost like free for all. I've seen people in business and they don't give a shit in business. But like Indians, we've got this morality that we're just kind of raised with and we kind of stick within the guidelines.
I just saw this kind of like documentary last night about because TikTok is banned in India and it really affects some people because they were able to monetize skills that they would have never had the opportunity to showcase. Like this guy who paints with his fingers can do amazing art, but because TikTok is gone, he's now not able to have that income source, right?
Yeah.
So I mentioned that because in countries like this, you can be very talented and there's opportunities. It's not always going to be this case in India, in some parts of India. So that's where I think like the competitiveness kind of came because there's not always a direct correlation to talent and being hardworking.
I think I might be wrong about this, but like also I think people misunderstand what like karma means, and like this will eventually hit on the same point as you, but like people think it means that you do something good and then good things will happen to you, or
That's
you
what I
do
thought it
something
meant.
bad and bad things will happen to you. But what you said is everything's chaotic, and so the goal, I think, is to escape that cycle of believing that good things will lead to good things and bad things will lead to bad things. You escaping the cycle is understanding that it doesn't matter what you do. You could be treated one way or the other, but you should still do the right
Good.
thing
Yeah,
anyway.
the right thing.
And that's what karma is like. You're escaping karma, I guess, right?
Yeah, you keep
Am I
doing the
Moksha.
right thing without any expectation of like what is going to happen. You just keep doing the right thing, and maybe in this lifetime or another lifetime, you'll be rewarded for it. But you don't think about the reward. You just keep doing the right thing.
Yeah, because you could
And
get fucked
sometimes-
over.
Yeah, and sometimes the right thing could be like, you know, that may not seem right to other people, but you know in your conscience that that's the right thing to do.
Who do you guys think you guys were in your last life?
I think I was a maid because I'm so good at cleaning. So I
maid?
must, yeah, definitely think I was a maid because also when I was a child, I used to love like brooming and mopping.
Like an Indian maid?
And yeah, and I would like play Ghar Ghar, but like everyone would want to be like the house.
With those big brooms, you're like sweeping the
Yeah, like
floor.
everyone, I would play Ghar Ghar when I was a child, and like everyone would be like the housewife or like the husband, and I would be like, no, I want to be the maid.
I didn't know this was a game.
Yeah, like house. You didn't play Ghar Ghar?
No.
Naomi, we need to do this. You and I
Yeah.
need to play Ghar Ghar.
She's like, no.
This time I'm not gonna be the maid though.
I'll be the decorator.
You
You
think
be
you're
the decorator and I'll be the housewife.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to.
I will
think
definitely
was
not be
terrible.
the cook, so that's eliminated.
That's okay. We'll make that on.
I'm actually looking for a new house cleaner.
Oh, you are? No. My hands are full with my own house.
Maybe if you get her a couple of drinks and some
Yeah, at Pearl.
dinner.
At
I
Pearl.
just need you to come home and clean.
you text, you're like, do you want to play Ghar Ghar in my house? Could be fun.
You want to play Ghar Ghar?
Oh my God.
What were you throwing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully something good, but I feel like whatever it is, I must have had good karma because I've been very blessed in this life. So maybe I was Gandhi.
Wow.
I was assassinated.
You were assassinated and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you got reborn immediately.
You got reborn.
I think I was a bug or something.
Yeah.
Not even as a bad thing. I just think I was a bug.
You got stepped on.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah. I just feel that in my that I was some sort of bug, you know.
Yeah.
And you, Naomi? What do you think?
I mean, I just I climbed trees a lot growing up. So
You were a monkey
I think I was a monkey. I don't know.
wearing black.
Maybe I was a black
Black
monkey.
monkey. Yeah.
Maybe that's where it comes from.
Yeah, chimp.
Good. Well, I'm glad we covered what we used to be in our past lives.
Yeah, that was important.
Yeah.
Milan, I'm glad you're here, honestly, because I feel like comics here have the best. I can already tell, like when you were speaking about all that religion stuff, I was like, man, this guy's could actually start a cult here in Los Angeles.
I could. I'd be good at it. Yeah.
What kind of cult?
I don't know anything. Go ahead. Finish your question though.
No, I just feel like some people have like this thing, the way they speak.
Yeah.
Because even like the way you speak very well. So
Oh, I do?
everybody
I
does.
feel like I'm always laughing and giggling.
No,
And
but
I'm
you
always
got-
like, ha ha ha.
But you have but you have inflections. Like you said something one week, you were like style, but you didn't say style. You were like style.
Style.
But you
No, I
actually
just
did
feel
that.
like when I'm comfortable with people, then I speak like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not always like this.
And I watched your comedy too. Very funny. Check him out. Milan
you.
Patel. I was pulled in when you were talking, and I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
can see this guy like leading like a cult in Waco, Texas, or something.
Are we getting a critique on being on the podcast
I
while we're in
know.
the podcast?
Everybody's great.
Actually, yes, we could do that. That would be fun. Critiquing.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's critiquing? Oh, you didn't critique Naomi.
Why do you look scared?
But you look scary right now, huh? You were like looking at him like this. You were like,
you're
yeah,
ve- you're-
speak.
You're
I'm
very
listening.
intimidating. I've told her this to her face. I said Naomi has really loosened up and is really good in terms of like she's coming to be the Naomi that I know. And I've known her since she was like 18. She's like really fun. She's like speaking her point of view. And I wouldn't have anybody on if I didn't think they brought something to this podcast. You know?
You can live.
But I don't see you as like a domineering date person when you say, I'm not scared of you.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. I'm harmless.
That's what they all say. I'm kidding, Naomi. You're very friendly and cool. Yeah.
Milan, are you in a relationship since we're on this topic?
Yeah. It's just been 1 year.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Are
Thank
you
you.
scared of your girlfriend or slash wife?
Am I scared of her?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's still my girlfriend. But I don't feel afraid of her. I feel afraid of like letting her down or like, getting I'm afraid of myself more of like making a mistake, but I'm not really afraid of her.
What does it mean, letting her down? Like as
That's
a comedian
so
or?
sweet.
No, like, I don't want to like lose my temper or be mean or something like
I
that.
can't
so
imagine you
far.
losing your
I
temper.
know. I was gonna say
Yeah, I
you
can-
sound so like at peace.
Well, yeah, I mean that's even worse sometimes, right? Because then when people like me, like if we do get angry, it can be really bad. But so far,
Domestic abuse at home?
Oh
What's
my
going
god,
on?
the way you
You've
said
never-
that, I'm so scared now. I actually do want to like swap seats with you.
I'm the first quiet person you've met. No, but so far so good. I haven't done anything. I've been pretty good at like being able to control my emotions and anger and things like that. So yeah, it's more just like a worry. I don't think I would do anything.
It's actually very accurate. There's a thing among comedians where the nicest guys, like Bill Cosby or whoever, like they've
Well,
got this.
don't compare me. to Bill Cosby. Like, why are you?
I'm just saying.
Why are you putting me in the same?
But the
pool
nicest,
as,
Don't
the
take him
nicest
seriously.
people are like they got this weird sadistic side. Not Milan, but and
No,
like,
I agree. Yeah.
and like these like fucked up comedians who are like assholes. They're such nice people. Do you guys feel like you have to like pretend though when you interact with people, like put on a facade? I feel like I'm exhausted putting on this avatar all the time.
Why? What do you like? Why? Why are you putting on a facade?
It's hard. Like when you meet people.
What are you inside? Actually, what are you on the inside?
What am I on the inside?
Yeah. Are you putting on a facade right now?
Yeah, to some extent I am. This is
Why?
like third. I'm trying to be myself.
You've known Naomi forever.
I can't help it because I still click into, one thing I do in the morning, which sounds really embarrassing. I'm just gonna say, but like I actually like speak. Like I'll read
Yeah.
like out of a book because like I had like a speech impediment when I was a kid, and so I'm still insecure. Like I've got this thing when I was like I've got to make sure I speak clearly, and so
I
Yeah.
also had that.
I
Yeah.
had that too.
and
You
so
guys have
like
stutters.
I just started. Like, in the
I'll let
beginning
him
of the
finish, but
podcast.
I couldn't like speak well until I was like 12.
Interesting.
well, my mom told me because we spoke Thulu, so like she was like it's because of the language thing, but to this day. I'm like so insecure, and it's weird because I host. Like I got a second hosting
okay, I
job,
get it, yeah.
and I have to like make sure that I speak clearly, and I'm always trying to slow
Sometimes
down.
it's in your mind, even
it's
though it's not there anymore. Yeah, it's like a phantom thing.
Oh, when I was like in high school, we'd like read a book out loud, and I was so just scared to read out loud, and it blows my mind. I'm even a comedian today. that I speak publicly.
No, I actually completely understand that. I have the exact same thing. Like even though we're all comfortable with each other, every time this podcast starts, like at first my heart beats so fast. I have like palpitations because I'm so nervous.
Stop drinking coffee before the podcast.
Yeah, that
Girl,
too.
we need to
That
stop
happened to me too.
Right? Yeah.
With
That's why I
coffee,
looked at you because I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I used to do that too because in school they would make you like read, right? And I was shy anyways because I moved around, but I had a crazy lisp. So I had an open bite, which meant that when I closed my jaw, there was space in the middle. So you can't say the plural form of any word because the S sound like gets messed up with that. So I couldn't say scissors.
Say
I will
what?
go.
Say what?
Say it.
Okay, so I still go out of my way to
Okay.
avoid this one word because there's so many S's in it.
Say it.
Scissors.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Perfect.
I couldn't do that
Intentionally,
before.
you can
Yeah,
say
like
it, but it's like if you were to say
well,
it,
because I don't have that like actual physical condition anymore that
Yeah.
made that happen. But it used to trip me up, and I used to like count how many people were before me to see what passage I would most likely be on, and I just could not do public speaking. Like,
I
it
used to
was
do the
fear.
exact same thing. I would be like, how many people are before?
Yeah.
Same girl, same.
Do you have anything, Milan, growing up, like any that you want insecurities that you want to publicly broadcast to the world?
No, I didn't have any speech impediments, but I was shy growing up, so like public speaking was difficult for that reason. But I do think that's different because like everybody's shy, or like a lot of kids are shy. But like, you know, like again, like my girlfriend was telling me like she had a stutter that when she was younger as well. I think that can be like, now I'm like starting to understand that can be a very difficult thing for people to get over, because it's like the moment you feel like if you're gonna say the word scissor, like that's gonna come up, that could like make you even more nervous, and it could trip you up even further. It's like it's like a falling into a loop, maybe.
Yeah,
right?
because when she asked me to repeat it, I thought, did I say it wrong?
I was joking with you when I said that.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that can affect people.
That can affect people, yeah.
That's very. So no, I didn't have any speech impediments, but
What?
I gotta go, guys. But yeah, I was more just like shy.
But I think I was always more comfortable speaking in Hindi. Like even to this day, like I
Why?
think my Hindi personality is a lot more confident and like happy-go-lucky. And like
Why is
in
that?
English, I'm still a little bit more nervous. Why? Matlab, I mean,
Okay.
you also spoke in Hindi, right, Naomi?
Hindi's
Like,
not my first language. It's like my
what is-
third.
Oh, okay. But you came from India as well, right?
Yeah, my first was Pahari, which is
Oh,
like
I
mountain,
see.
then Hindi. Then I didn't learn English until I was watching anime when I
Yeah.
was 7.
Sailor
Yeah.
Moon.
It took me a while to learn English because we weren't speaking English at home.
Yeah, same here. So that's why I feel more comfortable. Because like even to this day, I speak in Hindi with my parents.
Maybe there's some connection. I got to explore this in therapy of why we choose certain things to overcome obstacles so we can prove to ourselves. Like, who knows? But at
Maybe
all.
that's what like some people overcome things. Like it's a good idea to face it. Like I used to also have a fear of heights, and then I know this is unrelated.
And you
but
climb trees.
Well, more than trees. Like I jumped off a plane, so like I did skydiving specifically so that I would like get rid of that fear, because you know when you travel, like you go to like you do hiking and you do things that have heights, and that was an issue. But yeah, sometimes you have to face it.
Absolutely. Well, you all face your fears by coming on the podcast. Milan, I want to thank you for coming on. Real quick, where can we, for new people, and you're here, where can we find you, Milan?
You can Google my name. You can do Milan Patel comedy. You can find me on Instagram. It's my name, Milan Patel _OK. You can also listen to my podcast, Perfect Politics. That's also on Instagram. If you just look up Perfect Politics Pod, and yeah, we talk about the news, and we just make fun of like current events.
Just like this podcast.
Pretty much. I mean, we kind of just talk a lot of shit too. So it's not like it's like a politics podcast for people who don't really like political comedy.
Cool.
Yeah.
You guys want to plug anything?
Plug?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
No, nothing in particular for me. Oh, that means. Why are you looking at him though?
How come we can never end these
Hey,
podcasts
let your parents
normally?
watch this.
My parents are watching this.
Hey,
You
I
want to
love
plug your
my
parents? Yeah.
Well, let's wrap up. I want to thank you all for joining us. Another fantastic episode. Please like, subscribe, share, join our Patreon, please. Desi's, come on, don't let me down. And we will see you guys next time. Take care.